All right, welcome back to the show. Mitch Canham was the catcher and a leader on those Oregon State baseball teams that won national championships 2006, 2007. He was on the team in 2005 that didn't get there, or that got to the World Series but didn't win. And now, after a long career as a player in professional baseball, Mitch is the manager of the Modesto Nuts in the California League. He joins us now. Mitch, thanks for coming on with us today. Appreciate it.
Dwight and Aaron, thanks for having me. Excited to be a part of the show.
Hey, Mitch, what kind of nuts?
I think it's a variety. I think the main ag development down here is the almond. There are almond trees for days out here. I think it's the almond capital of the world, so they say.
Yeah, the mascot or the logo does look like multiple nuts. It looks like an almond and a walnut.
I think it's an almond. We do have Wally the walnut.
There you go.
We do have there might be a pistachio or something in there. I just know that we do have a handful of mascots that run around and our kids enjoy giving them a hard time. Yeah, they are.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Dwight's completely disgusted with me right now, but I just had to know. Okay, we'll move on to baseball.
We've at least got the nuts conversation out of the way. Mitch, I'm curious. I know how busy minor league managers are. It's a rough job. Do you get to watch the Beavers play very often this season? Did you watch them?
It was tough to get much of an opportunity to watch them. Fortunately, we do have quite an extensive TV package for watching MLB games and a lot of the different spots. So, being on the West Coast, games going on at the same time, it would make it tough. I did get to watch the Supers, which was exciting. I actually came in right at the end of the game against Minnesota, and Dan Wilson's son was catching in that game, Eli.
Yeah.
And so when I came back in, it was 3-3, and I saw I had got a text from Dan, and, he's obviously rooting for Minnesota, and I was rooting for the Beavs. So we're shooting each other a hard time, and we had some gentlemen's agreements based on who would win that game. But,
yeah,
it was a great time watching the guys play, and, talking with Yeski and Bales and Andy and Case, just about the group that they have and knowing the type of leadership that those four men are. It's no wonder that you're seeing them with the accomplishments they have and going into the College World Series as the favorite.
You mentioned Dan Wilson's son. I'm wondering if you've had the opportunity at all to see Adley Rutschman behind the plate for the Beavers, a guy they're talking about maybe being the #1 overall pick next season when he's a junior. Have you seen him at all, Mitch?
Yeah, just briefly from on TV, going down for the alumni event and stuff, getting to run into the guys and meet them. Such a great group of young men. How approachable they are. They're always smiling. They look like they have a ton of fun together, obviously, just whether it's at the field or away from the field. Very tight-knit group, and that's the family environment that excels. And watching Rutsch back behind the dish, just in the limited amount of time I have, he looks pretty impressive. It's the confidence that he portrays back there, feeds to everybody on the field. He's I'm sure we'll see it during the World Series. He's going to be in every pitch, and just probably his posture, his overall body language says we're going to go win today. And his catch and release looks very clean as well. Just from the little bit that I've seen, receives the ball well, and looks like he interacts with his brothers, gets the best out of them every day.
So, Mitch, I keep hearing a lot of people around here who follow the Beavers baseball program more closely than I do, saying that this might be the best team Casey's ever had. And this offends me because I recall a group of guys winning back-to-back national titles. We had Darwin on the other day and asked him this question. Darwin. He took the diplomatic approach. But I want to hear from you. Could you guys whip these kids? Be honest.
It's funny. So a couple of years ago, or when the Beavs were in the World Series a while back, we started a group text message with, I don't know, there's like 30
Darwin
of us
mentioned
on
that
there.
to us. He mentioned that, yeah.
So we look forward to this time of year too, because we get to, the alumni time. We look forward to that, seeing everybody. But this time of year, we all bond together and start rooting on the Beavs. Score updates for guys that are working or doing what have you, and just commentary on the game, which gets extremely hilarious. And then as the messages go on, guys start to reminisce on what it was like and silly things that we did, or the times that we worked our tails off, and just going down memory lane. And every now and then someone will bring up the conversation, these guys are good, but
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, you look at the way these guys are playing, and they're extremely talented. This is, always difficult to say who's better than what. And I didn't even, I thought we were talented those years, from 5, 6, and 7. But still, like when we had played North Carolina, like the number of guys that were sitting in the big leagues with Miller and Bard and Ackley, they had more talent as far as, what it looks like on paper. But at the end of the day, like to win it all, it's getting hot at the right time, coming together and trusting your abilities, having confidence and poise and focus. And I think that, what this group has shown throughout the entirety of the season is remarkable. The comeback wins. I get to follow on social media a little more so than anything else. And, watching a tweet about how they came back and won at the end of the game, or the rallies that they put together, and guys 1 through 9 and then some getting out there and competing. I don't know. Just if we were to go out there and compete, I'd sit there and feel confident in our squad that we're taking against the current team. But I will say now that we don't have to worry about that matchup ever happening. These guys are pretty stinking good.
We're talking with Mitch Canham, a great catcher with those championship teams at Oregon State. Mitch, when you look back on those, I can't imagine what it was like to win the first one, and then to back it up is even more amazing. What particular memories come to your mind when you think back on those days?
Oh, there's a ton of memories. One of the biggest ones is, getting to be on the field with my dad and my younger brother after we had won it all. I have a picture of it at home, and it's a huge memory for me. One of the last times that I got to embrace my younger brother before he took off for the military and passed away. But sitting in the hotel room late night, or going fishing the next morning, grabbing some of the sausage links or bacon from breakfast and going fishing for carp in the morning. The workouts, sitting in the dugout and looking at the field, or and just soaking it all in and saying, this is incredible and we do belong here. I remember feeling that emotion, just trying to step outside myself and say, this is amazing, and this is such a great opportunity, and we fought for it, and that anything is possible in life so long as you work extremely hard for it and believe in yourself and believe in those around you. And that group, that what really comes together was the selfless nature that our group had in those years. And everyone on the team would sit there and say, it doesn't matter if I get a hit the rest of the year as long as we win it all. And, it built long-term friendships. And you can see that by being selfless and helping others, it brings it on back to you tenfold. And I remember there'd be so many times, I was surprised looking back how much fun we had, even when we were sitting there in 06 with elimination facing us day in and day out. having fun in our pregame, having fun during the game and postgame, just nonstop enjoying the moment and being, I guess, what we say in the Mariners, embrace your grass, being where your feet are, and we embrace that moment to the fullest. So it's just great getting to connect with all of our old teammates and how close we still are.
You're managing now single A baseball. What's the? I imagine the future goal is to get to the bigs. Is that the grind here, the drive for you?
I think it goes to I'm gonna fill the need wherever God has a plan for me. I do believe that teaching in the big leagues at some point would be a fantastic opportunity. I would love to do it. Last year I got to go up to Seattle and sit in on a series at the end of the year, which was amazing, getting to see, how it works and how the players are. And oddly enough, a lot of the guys that were up there, I was like, I played with this guy or with or against this guy, and we're about the same age, and it's just, a lot of it's just communicating with people, becoming a teacher, getting the best out of people on any given day, and being born and raised in the Northwest. I would love the opportunity to be a part of the big league club in Seattle, but right now, I am a part of the Seattle Mariners organization and love my job. Been waiting to become a Mariner my whole life, and these past 3 years getting that opportunity to manage in the Midwest League and now out here in California and help future Seattle Mariners along their way and fulfill their dreams. It is a huge blessing, and it's such a great organization with the people and the process that they go about their business. It's great.
Mitch, I bet there are times that you wish you could get frequent flyer miles for being on that bus. I can't imagine what it's like to manage an A-ball and do those bus trips. Like the Midwest League has got to be just brutal. At least in the California League, you're mostly in the state of California. So what's it been like for you to get accustomed to the grind that is low minor league baseball?
It's actually, AAA, you get on the flights, and those are like those early morning flights. So when you get done with the game at 10 at night and you're trying to get out of there, you get to go back to the hotel, pack your stuff, and sleep for 2 hours before you got to wake up, go to the airport, and try to fall asleep again, then wake up for your connecting flight, and up, down, up, down. So the bus rides aren't really that bad as long as you know how to lounge in them, I guess. Find a good spot on the floor, put your feet over on your buddy's seat next to you.
Yeah, but the manager always gets the best seat too, so that helps, right?
You're sitting in the very front, staring out the window and looking for that seatbelt. But all those years of catching, the hips and knees really don't enjoy the bus trips too much. But I enjoy the travel. Great chance to connect with the staff and the other players. There are times when we the staff jump in the car and drive to get there before the players and the bus get there to make sure we're well prepared. But in the Midwest League, we had some trips that were 10 to 12 hours, some short ones, some commuters that you go to and back, but those 12-hour ones, those will get you.
I would think
those will get you. You got to be creative, like how you find a spot on the floor, bring some extra blankets or an inflatable floaty from the pool that you can lay on, and you got to mix in some card games, bring some music, get some good movies. If you're not watching, maybe Troy or maybe some baseball classics, Love of the Game or something like that, Sandlot, you got to throw on the classics. Bull Durham is a must every season. You can't go a season without watching that. But as long as you realize what you're there to do, you're playing a wonderful game, and you get to go out and compete every day. It is a tremendous thing, and it should be putting a smile on your face each and every day.
We're talking with Mitch Canham, the ex-Beaver great, who's now managing in Modesto for the Mariner organization. Curious about something else, too. You're in a situation there where players are so competitive trying to get their way to the big leagues, but managers are to a degree, too. And what's it going to take for you, Mitch Canham, as a minor league manager, to get higher up in the organization? What are they looking for out of you? Winning pennants? Developing players? A combination of both? What is your prime responsibility?
I think our prime responsibility can revolve around just get the players better. Help them maximize their potential, is a big piece of it. Winning games is great. I think teaching the players how to win is important. It is a skill. You can't lose games your whole entire life and then all of a sudden go to the big leagues and think that, I'm just going to be able to turn it on in the ninth inning when there's 3 levels of fans sitting there staring at us and yelling. You got to teach the players how to win, how to compete. And when I say get the players better, I'm talking about a skill, throwing, hitting, running, et cetera. But I'm also talking about the main goal of making them better men. And to the same thing we tell players, get out of the stat books. Don't worry about average. Focus on your process and your routine, getting better each and every day. Be ready to fail and trust that you can overcome these obstacles and get better from them. You learn from the failures. The learning moments coming off the field after you maybe didn't get a good read or forgot to back up a base or swung at a pitch that was out of your zone, and you sit there and have that conversation. You have to fail to learn. And I think it's the same thing for us as staff. We have to understand that, we still have much to learn as far as how to communicate, whether it's, right now I have a handful of players that speak Spanish, and that's their primary language. I got to learn how to communicate with them if I don't know Spanish. And if you address a room of 25 people and 6 staff members, if you say one line, 31 people are going to hear it differently. Not everyone takes things the exact same way. So you got to, be a little bit of a chameleon. You got to be able to adapt to different people and make sure they have a firm understanding of what you're trying to get across. You have to be able to, there's a scheduling side to this and a pace. How do you get guys to compete or teach them how to compete through a minor league season and playoffs? I don't like thinking about a 140-game season. I believe that you prepare yourself to go all the way to the very end, from the first day of spring training throughout the regular season, and you're preparing yourself for postseason play in a championship. So don't worry about booking a flight home until that last day is scheduled for, the championship series, because that's what you're fighting for each and every year, is to win it all. And if your sights are set anywhere short of that, you're missing out, because it is possible. And if you believe it, it can happen. So I think, for us for myself personally, it's just to continue to learn how to teach. How do I, verbally and non-verbally communicate? How do I present things to the group? How do I learn more about analytics and situations to put our team in the best spot to succeed? Because in the game, and you got to be able to look ahead and prepare your guys for a certain situation if it may arise. If we're sitting there in the 8th inning and I put on a bunt sign, I need to know who's coming up behind him and who they have in the bullpen, and have we worked hard enough to get this bunt down? I can't expect, if my guy pops up the bunt, it's my fault.
Yeah.
Because I have not done a good enough job teaching him. Yeah. So whatever happens on the field, we coached it. And, when the guys do well, that's because they work their tails off. And when we fail, it's on us. And I really don't know the answer of, if, how, and when to get to the big leagues. But I enjoy teaching, and I didn't know I was going to enjoy it this much. And so just continue to learn just like a player, and keep your head forward and help other people, and I think everything will work its way out from there.
Mitch, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and good luck to you and all those nuts down there in Modesto with you. We really appreciate your time, and hope you enjoy the College World Series.
Hey, thank you so much. You guys have a great day, and go Beavs all day, every day. Let's win this thing, huh?
All right.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Mitch Canham. That's great. Yes, sir. I almost said something. The whole idea of a team called the Nuts, just all sorts of possibilities were.
They come up with crazy
around my
names.
head.
They come up with crazy names.
Well, it's all about the mascot and the merchandising and the T-shirts and all that
You
stuff.
kind of want to be offbeat, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like the Hops. That's been really good to them. They've sold a lot of stuff.